right, welcome back to the Find Your Edge podcast. I am your host, Coach Chris Newport, and today I am here with Dave Gross and Mark Dill from the Tobacco Road Marathon and Half Marathon, which we are proud sponsors of this year. And I love highlighting both race directors and local races and just awesome things that we have in the mix. So I'm excited to hear from you guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, Mark, I'm going to start with you because you have been with this race from the get-go. So when did it start? Tell us about why it got started and all that good kind of stuff.
Well, technically, you could say it got started in 2009 because it takes that so long to prepare. But the first race was 2010. The inspiration, the force of nature, is Kazem Yayapour. It wouldn't happen without Kazem. And he really founded it, and that's just his nature. He wanted to do something to help others in a meaningful way. So that's where it goes. Plus, he was a big-time runner himself.
Okay, cool. So helping others. You guys have a ton of beneficiaries. I mean, like, let me list the numbers, right?
Well, I think the major beneficiaries, but you're right, we've got a lot. But the big boys that get the most money are the Breakthrough TD1, formerly JDRF, the American Red Cross, Hope for the Warriors, not to be confused with I forget the other one that's national, but this one's based in
Wounded
North
Warriors.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
And
So some large beneficiaries and some smaller, more local ones.
yeah, I mean, those are the ones that get the bulk of the money, but then we try to help out a lot of people. And then Kazem instituted something like 3 or 4 years ago that everybody on the board could give $1,000 to whatever charity they liked.
What?
Or they wanted to help.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so my wife and I, she convinced me Dorcas, who she's done a lot of work with,
Yeah.
would be a good beneficiary.
They're great. And Dave, who's your beneficiary being on the board?
Well, I just learned this fact, so I'm going to have to think quickly here.
You don't
Alzheimer's.
have to commit to it. Maybe you can
No,
tell
I'll
us
commit.
later.
I'll commit. Yeah, both my parents were afflicted by Alzheimer's, so yeah, I'll throw it behind that.
Oh,
That's a good one.
wow.
Yeah,
That's great.
I like the fact that some of the local charities too are beneficiaries included, like the Triangle Rails to Trails and the Wake Park and Recreation. So it kind of gives back to the very course we're running on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. I omitted to mention them, but yeah, they've been with us a long time. And of course, it's like giving back to the people that tend to the trail, which is
Right.
essential.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so let's talk about the course. Speaking of the trail, because it is Tobacco Road, and a good majority of the course is literally on the Tobacco Trail. Tell us why that makes such a great race. Hint, hint, it's kind of fast.
Well, I mean, when you talk about doing interviews, I mean, one of our key talking points is this is the flattest, fastest course in North Carolina, and it is. That's why we qualify 18% of our runners for Boston. So about 21 miles, I think it is of the marathon is on the trail. People like it because it is. It's flat, and there's a lot of undulating terrain around here that can kind of really wear you out. And this one is relatively easy.
Yeah.
flat, but yet I've been running on it for over a decade now, and I'm still trying to discern when I'm going uphill and when I'm going downhill. But they're there. They're very
Yeah,
subtle, and they're at kind of key points in the race that it can wear you out, and you don't even know it because it looks flat and it's got a little bit of a grade to it. So,
And you're mostly surrounded by trees.
right.
You know, it's nice
Got,
that you're not, I know so many races have to like, okay, well, we're going to take you through this random little neighborhood
yeah.
or down this, street. And you're like, why am I running down this random street? It's just so nice that you're like, here I am on the trail, like pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, it's shaded. It's shaded most of the way and soft.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, yeah. So that matters to me. Run enough around a neighborhood to know that concrete's hard,
Yeah.
and
Well,
sometimes you
Dave, when
can't
you're
escape the
35 like
sun.
you are, then it doesn't really matter, does it?
Right, right. Yeah. I wish I were 35. Wish I were half that. So,
So flat,
um,
fast, great like surface to run on,
mhm.
body
Right.
friendly.
And it's mixed. So I know some folks sometimes are wary of, well, if it's soft, then, I'm going to lose some traction and so forth. But, there's asphalt in there too. You got to run to the trail. So, and I've never really, I'd really rather have a soft surface that's, it grips well. I think it's a great variety.
One thing that makes it different, and you mentioned this, that you're not going through neighborhoods. So in other races, now you see houses, but people come out and, look at all the fools killing themselves. You can get out on the trail and really kind of zone out. And whatever you want to think about, or you want to pray, or whatever, it's more private than most other distance races.
Yeah, peaceful, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps. Yeah, and well supported too. Just because, you're on the Tobacco Road, you guys have great support and aid stations, medals, t-shirts. What else is in the swag? Is there anything that
Well, I
ingredients
think
that I missed?
one that's near and dear to many. Mark already mentioned that a lot of BQers in the group, and one thing that I like is that if you BQ, you get a special technical Tobacco Road shirt that over and above the race shirt that you get a BQ shirt if you qualify.
That's
So
really cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
and very
don't
unique.
forget don't forget the free beer from Bond Brothers and the
yeah.
free pizza from Papa John's. I mean, that's a form of sponsorship, and it's good stuff.
It
Yeah.
is, absolutely, for sure. One thing that I love about y'all's race is that there is a bell at the
Yeah.
end,
Ding, ding, ding.
right? Yes. So if you, it's like basically like the PR bell, but honestly, like if even if it's not a PR, can you still ring the bell?
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah, who's to stop you?
That's
right.
right. Yeah. I do love that bell. It's so
Yeah,
cool. And it's not like I mean, it's like a gong version of a bell. It's
it,
big.
Yeah,
it's a big
it's
bell.
old. It's cast iron. It's old school.
Yeah,
Gives it
definitely.
Yeah.
character.
And you guys have great music. So I will have to say this was my one and only marathon. I checked the
Hmm.
box. And if you're watching on YouTube and you can hear it, if you're just listening, look at that thing. That thing it's got like a little train, and apparently this
We,
year's race is even better. This year's race medal is even better. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
yeah.
do. You guys have great medals. You guys have
You
great
know,
music too. Like,
good music at the end. There's a really good festive experience at the start finish with the beer garden, the tent, the music, the band, people hanging out. Usually nice weather. Last year we did get a little douse of rain at the end, but another thing that just occurred to me that I like about the race too is photos are, at least the last couple of years, I think have been free. So you go give it your all and look back and download some pictures.
yeah,
We got a, what is it, stand and repeat, behind you with the logos and stuff. Makes it look very professional.
yeah, and
Another point I want to mention on the weather is, I mean, we were thoughtful. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, and if you look at the average temperatures, it's in the low 50s, so it's good running weather. And we have been lucky, despite the late showers we had last year, we have never been rained out.
knock on wood.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, in addition to
So,
St. Patty's Day, though, it is also March 16th is Dave's birthday.
Oh, I
So
mean,
well,
that's why
that
we are all coming.
that's why, yeah,
Truly. Yeah.
that's just one big Dave Gross birthday party,
I
huh?
celebrated my 10th marathon on my birthday. I've run this 10 times, so 3 times marathons and 7 times half.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And this year for 2026, it's March 15th. So it's Sunday, March 15th, right? And we'll be at the expo. We're excited about that because we're going to be doing some metabolic testing for cyclists. So if
Very cool.
anybody's triathletes or has like friends and family who are, maybe you're doing the race and you've got a friend who's doing it, we're going to be doing some metabolic, taking people's blood That makes me sound like a vampire. I promise I am not. But doing like lactate testing and metabolic testing, and there are a ton of amazing sponsors there too. Like it's a fun little expo.
It's a worthy expo for sure.
Yeah. Let's talk about size of the race because I very distinctly remember when I ran it with you, Dave. Just incidentally, I think I found you at like mile 2 or something like that.
That's right. And then you left me at mile 25. Yeah. Because someone was being a camel and not executing the
Yes,
fueling
I
and
know. Even
hydration
though
properly.
you're running with a dietitian who's like, hint, hint, cough,
Shame
cough,
on
maybe
me.
it's time to drink.
Yeah, mile 19. Are you being a camel, Dave? And I
Uh-huh.
was. So
Yes. Yes.
executing
That's
the
true. I did
lactate
accuse you of
component.
that. There's just some of those races, the like New Yorks, the Bostons, which are obviously, fantastic races, but you go there for that specific experience of being huddled with 30,000 of your friends. This
Yeah.
is not that. I feel like not only is it on the Tobacco Trail, which is soft and in nature and well shaded, but it's also like you're not shoulder to shoulder. So, but it's also not a small race. So, like, talk about like size of race and how many
Well,
runners you guys
you
expect.
know, if we're not the biggest marathon in North Carolina, we are real close. And we have like 1,000 marathon runners. So it gives you a sense of, most of the runners are always in other distances, and especially like the half. So our total runners are about 4,000, and frankly, that's all we can fit on that course. I mean, that it is a constraint. And we've got about 3,000 or a little over 3,000 people in the half. So that kind of gives you a sense of the size and
Size.
so forth.
I am impressed that you guys got the permits for all this. Like, how hard was that when you started? Like, I mean, being a race director myself, holy smokes.
Kazem is like Wonder Man. He knows how to negotiate. He knows what buttons to press, and yeah, and he did a great job. And you got to put all that out there to him, and he found the right people to help him.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
great.
if I can add that 4,000 runners on I don't want to call it a type course, but it used to be a railroad, right? So, when you get to the turn where the full marathoners go right and the half marathoners go left, despite being limited space on the trail, it gets dispersed enough that you don't feel claustrophobic. You have enough other runners around you to, motivate you. And I enjoyed our conversation. Actually, we were talking about podcasts, Chris, if you
We
recall.
were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
but
still
that
remember,
was
Dave.
probably
Of
10
course I
miles.
remember.
Yeah, so you never feel too crowded, but you have plenty of good company.
Yeah.
And the spectators have some key spots where they can cheer you on, like at the split where the full and half diverge. While it's not New York City or Boston where you've got, tens of thousands of spectators cheering you on, there's some key spots in the race, certainly at the finish, of course, and all throughout the park as you approach the finish line where people can cheer you on, but in the middle of the course too.
Yeah, definitely. And I will have to say that it's fairly like parking friendly. You know how some races can be sort of a nightmare. Like you guys got stuff figured out.
Yeah,
It's well
well, I
organized.
mean, working at it since 2010, we kind of figured it out. We
Yeah.
had a couple of hiccups early days, but like with the buses from that app, which have been wonderful, and effectively they're another sponsor too because they allow us to spill over into their parking lot, and that really helps.
Yeah, definitely. And I will have to say, plenty of porta johns. So 2 thumbs up from the dietitian.
You're reminding me, been a runner in this race, coached, cheered, and I've certainly volunteered most years, but two memorable years. One was NetApp with the buses, making sure that stays efficient. But then also one year I was fortunate enough to put out all the porta potties. Big job. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of work. That's something that I had no clue about, as a runner, just what goes behind getting a race ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
So
order.
let's talk about that. Like, what are some things that you wish people knew as runners of what goes into this event?
Well, I mean, it isn't something that comes together at the last minute, but you'll have people making requests and so forth, and people just have to realize there's a lot of other runners out there with their needs, as long as you got, your bib and you know where to go and you listen to the advice of people like you and stay hydrated and so forth, that you should be content with that. So I discourage people with special requests, and that's, I guess, something that I feel would be helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So try to keep your special requests limited. Although, again, I don't think it's necessary with all the work you guys have put in between the great parking, the great communication, the expo, and volunteers. How many volunteers do you guys have?
We have about 700 volunteers.
That's crazy.
And the board is all volunteer. The only people that get paid are like the FSS series that
does the timing.
It's their job. You have to take care of those guys. But as far as guys like Dave and I, Kazem convinced us somehow. We just give away our time. No, and that's part of the culture of the event, that there's so many giving people. There's so much genuine desire to help others. And that may sound saccharine, but it's true.
Yeah, that's
Well,
great. I love that.
giving back is important, right? Endurance events are important to us. It's a strong community, and this is one way, whether you run it, whether you cheer, whether you coach, whether you volunteer, to give back and be part of your community. And that's super important for me. I happen to be employed by the marathon sponsor Veridyne, so this is one way that I can give back as an employee and as a runner. And this is an important race for me personally, just on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can sleep in your own bed because it's local. And
Amen to that.
yeah.
And I mean, even if you're traveling from out of town, like there's so many options for
Right, exactly.
stays.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Coming back to the aid stations real quick, Chris,
Yeah.
that was one of the things that I underestimated. Each year in the last several years now, I've been making sure I volunteer to pack the aid stations, which is done days before, right? Or a day or two before. You've got all the containers that you're packing, and then they get transported. I totally underestimated how much work to set up one aid station, and we've got plenty of aid stations, right? So if someone's being a camel and not drinking, then that's on them.
it is
Or
on
moi.
them.
Because there's plenty of water and nutrition on the course.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
packing those aid
there's a lot that
stations
goes
is a
into
big
it.
job.
You've got,
Yeah.
like we already talked about, the bus transportation, the porta-johns, the music, the volunteers, the board, praying to the weather gods, and police, right?
Right.
They have to work with traffic
And
because
don't forget EMS, because
Yeah.
we've had some scary incidents, because it just happens with every
it
race.
does. It
And
does.
they are very responsive, and they take care of our runners when they need it.
I love that. So if you want to run a race that is not only fast and flat and hopefully cool, it may or may not rain on you, but no guarantees, has a great BQ shirt, a great medal, great post-race beer, food, and heart. It sounds like Tobacco Road Marathon and Half Marathon is right up your alley. So how can people sign up?
Well, the touchstone, and thanks for bringing that up, is tobaccoroadmarathon.com.
Okay.
And if you're curious about all the details, there's so much information in there, we couldn't possibly cover it in this podcast.
Yeah.
So there's very few questions that I can imagine someone would have that they can't find the answer to there, and you can register there. But the other thing is you can even register at our expo. I think we'll have some spots, and you could come in and register at the expo.
But we're all going to be responsible and sign up beforehand, right?
Yeah,
guys?
exactly.
Don't wait for the weather report.
That's right.
I don't want to leave out that in that vein, we have runners from typically we have runners from every state in the country. Maybe only one, but we had a guy come over from Hawaii, and then also some people from Europe. And we have elite runners. Those are the guys that get a little bit of money at the end for their performance. So it's a world-class race.
Yeah.
And outstanding pace groups too. So
Oh, yes.
those are well covered.
How did
Yeah.
we forget that?
Yeah. So
I know there's 2 hours. There's 2:15. Is there like is it by 10 minute? Is like 140, 150, 2 hours. How do you
I don't
remember
know
that?
what the increments are, but Dave, you
It's
may
on the
know.
website. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's on the website, and I know some of them are kind of centered around making, if qualifying for Boston isn't a goal, then, after 350 used to be one,
Hmm.
four, whatever. So there, but it starts low.
Oh yeah, I
So
guess that was the half.
yeah, half.
Yeah,
So
they're half in full pacers.
there's half and full
Oh yeah.
pacers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's something that, and they do a great job. They really do.
They
Well,
do.
and
Yeah.
and Dave just touched on it. You can easily get caught up in the front runners and personal goals. But sometimes people's personal goal is just to finish. And I've talked to people and actually convinced them to enter. Oh, I wish I could enter, but I'd be embarrassed. It's like, enter the half marathon. You can walk the distance and you're still going to be coming
Right.
in ahead of a good number of the marathoners. So the beer's still flowing. Bond Brothers beer's still flowing. Papa John's brings lots of pizzas. So come over and listen to music and, have a good time.
Yeah, Mark, I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, while you can focus on something like a BQ or just a general PR, but just come because it's a great opportunity to test your fitness in what I feel like is just a prime setup of the Tobacco Road.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and myself included, we're inspired by the people that are really struggling, and it's obvious they're not at an ideal fitness level. But don't give up. Get out there, be active, and who knows where you can go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Every
keep
race,
moving.
I feel like, is another experience and opportunity for growth.
Well said.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up because I've got a bunch of coworkers who aren't used to running. Maybe they want to walk, and so we've got a small group of folks at Veradigm that are going out to, if worst case, walk it. But the most important thing is you just get out and move, and
Get out
that's
and
what
move.
keeps us from rusting, right?
Yes.
And my Holly Springers, I don't want to forget them, and the Cary folks that they'll be out there in force too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. So get out, move your body, enjoy the amazing Tobacco Road that we are so blessed to have in this area. So whether you're coming in from out of town or you're local from the Triangle, we welcome you to the Tobacco Road Marathon and Half Marathon. Mark Dillon, Dave Gross, let's give everybody a last minute tip who's racing or is like maybe on the fence. Convince them. Let's see what you got. Mark, you go
Well,
first.
I mean, my best convincer is if you haven't done it and you want to do it, just enter the half and walk it, and you won't be embarrassed at the end. The key thing is to
And
just
ring the
stay
dang
out
bell when you finish, you know?
and ring the bell.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dave. What's your tip for anybody who might be on the fence?
Well, the big tip is it's still open, it's still available,
Yeah.
and that's not to be taken for granted, and that won't be that way for long. So register whether you're going to walk it, whether you're going to run it. I get out there and don't forget to drink
Yes.
and maybe eat along the way. That's
Be
important too.
sure to hydrate.
Hydrate, and I'm a high carber, so
Amen to that.
and
Love those high
enjoy your
carbs.
carbs on the.
Yes. You will probably see these guys out on race day, I would imagine. And certainly if you do decide to race, come say hi to us at the expo. And maybe I'll have like a little prize at our expo. Like if you signed up because you heard this podcast, I might have to incentivize people a little bit.
I'd like to know about that
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do an extra like donation or I don't know. I think we always got something up our sleeve. So come say hi and come race or come participate if you don't like the word race.
Yeah, and start out early, runners, as far as arriving, because it starts at 7, and it's not a huge race, but it's out in a more remote area with narrower roads and so forth. So you really need to,
Get there early.
don't get caught up with raising your blood pressure over whether or not you're going to make it. Just get out there and
I will say that tends to be a common anybody who's new. They're like, oh, the race starts at 7, therefore I arrive at 6:45.
yeah,
No,
Right.
no.
no,
You gotta back that up. You can go take a nap later. Just get there early.
yeah. Come
Yeah.
over to our tent, and you can mingle with the other runners and their support base. We probably have a total of nearly 10,000 people that come because most runners have like a support team, one or two other people. So there's a multiplier effect there.
I've run over 30 marathons, and I think I've enjoyed the signs at Tobacco Road the most,
Yeah.
because some of them get super creative.
Oh, yeah.
And especially when you're out on the trail, and then it ends up being one sign leads to another one, and it keeps the mind distracted,
It does.
and the
It
miles
does.
fly by.
We've had unofficial hydration stations where people not living nearby come out and set up like a card table and offer Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
So there's some character to this, is the main point in saying that.
Yeah, I love that. So
Yeah.
good. All right, so if you haven't yet, sign up, tobaccoroadmarathon.com. And there's also the half. So come out, come say hi to us, come race, come support all these amazing beneficiaries. Mark Dillon, Dave Gross, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I am looking forward to an amazing race.
Thank you for having us.